Now, if you run a bed and breakfast and you believe homosexuality is wrong, should you have to accept gay couples as your guests? The law says so. Under the Equality Act 2006, it is illegal for a business to discriminate on the grounds of sexual orientation. But what about your moral beliefs? If you're uncomfortable with homosexuality, what do you do when two men or two women turn up at your door wanting to sleep together in one of your beds? It is a dilemma which was faced by husbands Suzanne and Francis Wilkinson, his wife, last Friday. They are a Christian couple who run a bed and breakfast in Berkshire. Last Friday evening, they turned away two gay men, John Morgan and Michael Black, from their B&B. And here's what Mrs. Wilkinson had to say about it. If they had gone to a hotel, I think it would probably be different. But this is my house. We live here with our children. It is our home, and that is the difference. What do you make of that? Were they within their rights? I'm joined by Matthew Todd, editor of the gay magazine Attitude, and Mike Judge from the Christian Institute. And Mike, I gather you have spoken to the Wilkinsons who run the B&B.
Yes, I've spoken to them. They're very distressed about the fact that they may be facing litigation because of the decision that they took. They're very sorry for the inconvenience that they caused to Michael and John, but they stand by their decision. And as you say, they feel this is their home and the law shouldn't tell them what they can and can't do in their own home.
And they say they're not homophobic, it's just they don't want certain things in their house.
Well, they're Christians, and like a lot of Christians, they've got traditional beliefs about sexual ethics, beliefs shared by people of other faiths too. And for them, they're not homophobic. They would have been happy to provide single rooms for homosexual men. It's not the fact that they're gay. It's the fact that they're two gay men wanting to share a double bed. And that was the issue for them. Now, I know there'll be people who disagree with their religious beliefs. There'll be others who do agree. It's a contested issue. But I don't think that this couple should be forced to act in a way that conflicts with their sincerely held beliefs in their own home.
Matthew Todd, what is your view?
I just think it's ridiculous, and it's clearly not about, their moral beliefs or the religion. It's about homophobia, pure and simple. I mean, Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuality, but the Ten Commandments do say, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." Yet this couple did not ask straight unmarried couples to leave. It's just about homophobia. There's nothing more to it, and it's typical of just people using religion for hatred.
Sorry, are you arguing that they would have been within their rights to ask unmarried couples not to stay?
No, they wouldn't be. If you have a business, what next? We say that Christian people can refuse to serve people if they own a newsagent. They're not allowed to have people in there. It's just totally ridiculous. We live in the modern world, and if you're going to provide a business, it's the law now. I think it's the Equality Act 2006 makes it illegal to refuse people goods and services on the grounds of sexual orientation. And so, what, should we turn black people away if someone was racist? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Mike Judge, what is the race argument always comes up? Is there a read across from people's sexual choices to their race?
I don't think there is a direct read across because, as I say, Mrs. Wilkinson was very clear. If she'd have had single rooms available to them, she would have gladly offered them to them. So she wasn't turning them down because of their orientation. And the issue with sexual orientation is, for Christians, it's an issue of sexual behaviour. Now, I know that not everybody agrees with the Christian view on this, but Mr. and Mrs. Wilkinson shouldn't be facing losing their business in a crippling lawsuit just because they hold that particular belief. I think, let's accept that people disagree on this point. Let's have an open debate, but let's not say, that gay rights should trample all over religious rights, because I don't think that's good for an open society.
Matthew, the interesting difficulty here is to do with the fact that it is their home and somehow more personal to them than if they were running a freestanding hotel. It's a separate address, it's a separate business. A guest house is their home, and somehow they felt that they were more able to exercise their own personal choice in this.
Well, a guest house is their home, but if they're opening their home up, I don't suppose they vet every single person that comes in and check out they have the same political views or whatever it may be. I have lots of views. I'm very environmentally friendly, but I wouldn't stop people who fly all the time if I didn't like them coming in. This idea that, it's their view, I respect their views. If they're homophobic or they don't like gay people or whatever it may be, I absolutely respect that, but not when they're not entitled to then inflict it on the lives of other people. And there are kids in this world, kids who are listening to this, kids reading the newspaper, young kids who grow up, they don't choose to be gay. If you're gay, you don't make this big political statement, but you find your life is automatically politicized. Can you imagine this poor couple, 56 and 62, they went to the theatre, one's a Liberal Democrat councillor, they're not having this big gay pride parade through the living room. I mean, who knows whether they're having sex? They probably just want to have a cup of cocoa and go to bed. It's ridiculous.
Mike?
And equally, there are Christians listening to this who feel that they are being sidelined, that somehow their opinions are less worthy in society. Now, Matthew might think that they're not worthy of a modern society, and he's entitled to that view. But the idea of shutting down businesses because they hold that view is, I think, quite aggressive, and it's a sort of one-size-fits-all policy that's not worthy of a democracy.
Thank you very much indeed, Mike Judge of the Christian Institute and the editor of Attitude magazine, Matthew Todd. Stephen Warwickshire says, I am gay. I think it's okay that the B&B owners turned the gay couple away. There are plenty of hotels and B&Bs that are designed specifically for gay people. Bree Watson in Carlisle, Cumbria, says, I think the gay couple are arrogant to try to force their opinions on the couple who run the guest house. They're saying, this is how we are, accept us. But the couple who run the B&B also have a right to say, this is how we are.